Let us begin by taking a closer look at paganism in England. There is very little documented in regards to historical paganism, and so we will focus on the modern paganism of the last 200 years. In the 19th century, England gave the world Aleister Crowley, who was potentially the most wicked, blasphemous and perverted reprobate ever to be spewed out of the loins of England, and a small number of people still follow his religion anathema to this day. Crowley also gave the world the great doctrine, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," and this manifests itself today as mantras such as "follow your heart and do what you think is right." But this contradicts Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9, which reads, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, who can know it?" It is written in Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4, "I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not." It is clear that God gave Crowley over to delusions, because one glance at his writings will reveal that they are the writings of a delusional, demon-possessed lunatic that believed that he was indeed the Antichrist of the Book of Revelation.
The pentagram, dedicated to Henry Foreman. In the years of the primal force, in the dawn of terrestrial birth, man mastered the mammoth and horse, and man was the lord of the earth. He made him an hollow skin from the heart of an holy tree. He compassed the earth therein, and man was the lord of the sea. He controlled the vigor of steam. He harnessed the lightning for hire. He drove the celestial team, and man was the lord of the fire. Deep-mouthed from their thrones, deep-seated, the choirs of the eons declare the last of the demons defeated. For man is the lord of the air. Arise, O man, in thy strength, the kingdom is thine to inherit, till the high gods witness at length that man is the lord of his spirit.
In more recent history, England's J.K. Rowling produced the character of Harry Potter, which has been used to draw many innocent children into the world of paganism and witchcraft by teaching them real magic concealed as fiction. In the words of an anonymous ex-witch, "As a former witch, I can speak with authority when I say that I have examined the works of Rowling and that the Harry Potter books are training manuals for the occult. Untold millions of young people are being taught to think, speak, dress and act like witches by filling their heads with the contents of these books. Children are so obsessed with the Harry Potter books that they have left television and video games to read these witchcraft manuals. The first book of the series, entitled Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, finds the orphan Harry Potter embarking into a new realm when he is taken to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. At this occult school, Harry Potter learns how to obtain and use witchcraft equipment. Harry also learns a new vocabulary, including words such as Azkaban, Circe, Draco, Erised, Hermes and Slytherin, all of which are the names of real devils or demons. These are not characters of fiction. How serious is this? By reading these materials, many millions of young people are learning how to work with demon spirits. They are getting to know them by name. Vast numbers of children professing to be Christians are also filling their hearts and minds while willingly ignorant parents look the other way. But thus saith the Lord in Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 2, learn not the way of the heathen.
One of the wizard's most rudimentary skills is levitation, or the ability to make objects fly. Do you all have your feathers? Good. Now, don't forget the nice wrist movement we've been practicing. The swish and flick. Everyone? The swish and flick. Good. Oh, and enunciate. Wingardium Leviosa. Off you go then.
Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
You do it then if you're so clever.
Go on.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, well done! See here, everyone. This Granger's done it. Splendid.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Well done, dear.
I think we're going to need another feather over here, Professor.
According to the 2011 census, there were approximately 75,000 people in England at that time who identified their religion as some form of paganism or witchcraft.
The same as people talk about yoga, people will be able to just talk about their witchcraft practice.
I can be sat in my garden with my pendulum, you know what I mean, asking questions.
Yeah, I think it will just become something that's completely normal, hopefully.
Someone who's a witch is someone who just practices witchcraft and magic. They're doing things like spell work, anything from like prosperity to healing, whatever they want to do.
It's someone that's in tune with the elements around them.
Honestly, someone that just practices witchcraft. It's so open.
And also putting lots of stuff in tiny jars, which is great.
The most magical times I've had is just me in a room with a candle. You feel like time stops when you're practicing.
I use all sorts of things.
I tend to do spells in little satchels.
I like to do a lot of like spoken magic and like scrying with like crystal balls and things like that. It's something that gives me that like faith and hope and that connection to like spirit and nature.
Tarot card readings. I use crystals a lot. Meditating.
My pendulum is probably my favourite. If I'm having a hard day and then I go home and I practice, it does calm me down and it makes me have a much nicer outlook on the world.
It was very much hush-hush, very much like unseen. But now, with like things like social media, it's massive, it's huge.
A lot of the stereotypes do creep in there in some aspects, but it's not fire and brimstone and you're like gathered around like a cauldron.
Because there are so many people putting their practice out there now, especially on Instagram, people are more accepting of it, like this generation especially.
It can be there for anybody.
People are really out and proud in terms of their like witchiness. In this kind of world where everything is so stressful, I think it's something for people to turn to, and the fact that it's something you can just practice at home, you can just do it in your room. The kind of ease of it is really what's made it boom. So there's their phrase, coming out of the broom closet.
It's very 50-50 on how people will react to it. Some people are very open to the idea and they'll accept it straight away, but some people have this idea that it's quite a satanic thing.
Witchcraft is going to be a practice that's going to be really accessible to a lot of people.
Don't worry too much if something doesn't make sense. Just follow your intuition.
It's very natural in nature and it's love.